All right, so as you guys can see, we're here at Rivian, and I'm test driving the R1T. I know that this is going to be very similar to the R1S, so it's one of those things where I'm driving it, and if I end up liking Rivian and want to buy one, I have the option of getting the R1S or R1T. So that's really cool because they're very similar. Like I said in my previous video with the Hummer, I think some of the things I'm looking for is range. And I know there's a lot of different variants with the Rivian, so I'm going to have that option to up and lower the range depending on price point and package. I'm looking for space, interior space, bed space, and also just the overall comfort. And then at the end of the day, the autonomous driving. So the Rivian has Driver Plus as opposed to full self-driving with the Cybertruck. And so I already know that there's not going to be anything during this journey of me looking at all these different EV trucks and SUVs that's going to compare to FSD. But I want to see something that, at least on the highway, on long road trips, what's going to help with driver fatigue. And so I'm excited to test that out as well. So this is going to be my test drive of the R1T from Rivian. I really like this color though. I'm not a red guy. I'm not a red, even though my S was a red color, I'm not a, but this is.
Which
like
red Model S? Is it the Ultra Red or the original red?
I think it was the original. Yeah, because it was a 2016.
Okay, yeah, it's the original red.
And that thing, when it was washed.
It's nice. I love red cars.
Yeah. I do like how they do that though. So it's just all one, almost like one piece, as opposed to having that gap.
Okay, so I was about to say something when you did that. This
look, it's like vibrating.
Yeah, this might be the second version. The first one broke, so they did a second version, and then California Dune just released.
Yeah.
It has a third version where the slats are like skinnier. And I think they end up stacking like how the I'm sorry, not stacking, but rolling like the Cybertruck. Whereas on these ones, they stack. So when it goes in, you kind of hear the stacking noise.
Yeah.
So they redesigned it on the third iteration. And I don't think this is the third one. It's a lot quieter.
Does this open up at all?
Yes, there's a button on the left. There you go.
Okay, it's just the tire. But at least you get a spare tire.
Full size, yeah. And you don't take up bed space.
You know what? I'm sure there's people that take the tire out, and that's a huge just compartment.
Yeah, it is a compartment.
And then it has, see, this is air compressor. I don't understand why the Cybertruck never put an air compressor.
I've used it a couple of times, and the gauge is kind of inaccurate.
Oh,
so I always bring a digital one just to double check. It's not off by much, but 2 or 3 psi it's off.
Okay, well that's not the worst thing in the world. What is this? I can't see it.
Outlets. Okay. So one thing you'll miss is these are only I think 110 or 120. There's no 240.
Yeah, they don't have the 240. I mean,
do you use that?
I didn't. Does this go up on its own?
No.
Okay, so it's like
and there's no hydraulic, so it's a little heavy, or heavier than a Cybertruck.
That's okay. The bed is, people who watch my channel know I use my truck at work for a lot of stuff, and this is small.
Yes,
this is small.
4.5, I think 4.5 feet.
And that was one of the things when I went and looked at the Hummer truck has a small bed as well. And it's one of those things where I would use it, But for me to really use it at work, I would need the tailgate down most of the time, and then I would have to strap it and do all that stuff.
Or get that bed extender, the little...
Yeah, the little gate or whatever. Yeah. So ideally, I want a larger bed. But I mean, it's not bad.
This is like Ford Maverick, Toyota Tacoma size.
That's what how I've always viewed the R1T. Is it's kind of like a Colorado Tacoma sized truck. And now I'm gonna close it. Hopefully this thing...
Yeah, so on the newer ones, the slats are actually, see how this is how big they are?
Yeah.
They're half that size.
Okay.
Now. Yeah.
They, like the Cybertruck has a smaller.
They're smaller, yeah. And these don't have bi-directional controls, so you either have to stop midway or wait for it to go all the way in, and then it goes the opposite direction when you push it down.
All right, let's get inside because it's cold. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to check out this. The tunnel?
The tonneau, yeah.
How do you do this?
There's a button right here.
And then this opens up.
There's a compartments there for like your med kit and the hoses for the air compressor. Also on this side, you got a 12 volt, and on the other side, you have a 110.
And then you always see people in commercials or whatever, YouTube videos, people like this.
They say, yeah.
And they're
I forgot what the capacity, weight capacity on it.
Shit.
Yeah.
Then I better get off of it.
I think you'll be fine. But
250 pounds, I'm good.
These are just like the Cybertruck with sharp edges and corners. So,
so
be careful.
So do I put my finger in there? Do we cut off my finger? Is that what we're doing? Do we do that?
Well, one thing you do have to be careful of. So these don't have bumpers on the rear. And if you want to hop on, that's really the way to do it. You gotta step on that and then go over and go on the bed of your truck.
As long as you meet the weight capacity.
Yeah. The thing is, when you hop down, you really gotta be careful, because if you're not paying attention, your calf or your leg.
I come down right here.
Yes.
And that's it. I'm dead.
It's gonna hurt.
Okay. All right. I do like the idea. I always appreciate when they utilize every inch, right? And that's what they did. Something that we talk about a lot on the podcast as well is there needs to be a universal placement of the charging port, because everyone's going to superchargers and the NACS. I hate the fact that Rivian has it up here in the front, Tesla has it on the driver's side in the back, other cars have it at other places. It's just...
The Hummer's in the same spot now. The GMCs?
The GMs are all in the same as Tesla.
Teslas, yeah.
If you're going to be utilizing Tesla and their superchargers, then you need to kind of get with how they do things. So what do we do here to open this?
Oh, there is a button next to the camera. It's not in the center, but it should be. There you go.
It's nice. It's a good size. I hate the fact that they have all the, like...
Yeah, because the Hummer, I think, doesn't have this part, right? Like,
no.
This actually goes up.
You could sit in it if you wanted to.
And the heat pump's right there. It's right there.
Probably
that black piece right there. Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is it's a good space.
This you could also flip the other way if you want this surface.
The carpeted.
The carpeted.
Other than the rubber.
That's different in the Gen 2 than the Gen 1.
No, this is nice. It's a good space. It's a good size. I'm not a big, let me sit in the front, but, to have that capability. I think just for ease of loading, this you have to lift up. But it's nice. It's a good size. So what I want to do is I want to get in the front. Let me get in the front first. Okay, first of all, it's a lot warmer in here. It's cold outside. The seats are...
What I've noticed with the seats is they're a little bit firmer than Tesla seats.
You think these are firmer than the Cybertruck?
It might be similar, but...
Cybertruck isn't the most plush.
No.
Especially when it comes to Teslas. Like, my sister has a Model Y. I get in her Model Y and I'm like, oh my God, this is... I could just
Pretty soft, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Compared to the Cybertruck. I don't feel huge in here. We're talking about the size of like a Colorado Tacoma. This doesn't feel
Is this
small.
Your first?
And then I've always loved the interior of Rivians as far as just how like luxury it feels. I like the big compartment. So that's one thing too about the Hummer that I test drove, is it has this lower compartment, but then it also has this upper section. So it's like this little windows on each side that you got to act. That was kind of weird.
So
to
it
me.
extends.
Yeah. So this right here, it all extends, but then you have under here. It's just kind of, that was a little weird. I like it just, if you're going to do a space right here, just have it open.
Yeah. One thing with these Rivians, no glove box.
Yeah, that was a thing, right? When they revealed the R2 and the R3, he was talking about the glove box. So they have no glove box.
There's compartments under the seats, but they're not that big.
Oh no, these are like for sunglasses.
Yeah, they're not.
But that's
big.
nice. That's nice to have.
Like you would have it, usually you put like your registration stuff. I mean, you would have to fold it 3 ways or something. Yeah, so that's their center console.
And this is pretty deep.
It's very deep, yeah. And there's buttons here to unlock.
Yeah.
And when the car goes to sleep, this also locks.
Oh, so it's almost like a safe type of deal.
Yeah.
Someone
so there's
breaks in, they're not accessing this.
No.
Okay, now what I want to do, before we get into all this, is I want to get in the back, because this is probably how I would sit. Because this feels comfortable. Now I want to get in the back, and I want to see how I fit behind someone my height.
Yeah, these doors open a lot better than the Gen ones. Yeah.
See this? See this?
Oh, man.
You know, that's kind of... I was talking about sitting in the front. I felt comfortable. I didn't feel like I was too big for the car. Right now, I feel like I'm a monster. And I'm not that tall, 6'2". But, I mean, this works. Getting in is a little, but when you're sitting back here, this is fine. Has a screen back here, which is nice.
No entertainment as of right now. So,
but is that something they're thinking about doing?
It's possible, but look at the like the aspect ratio of that screen. It's kind of not really meant for viewing videos or anything.
No, it's very long and short.
Yeah, but you have these hooks here. You could hang like your clothes or jackets or whatever. But I've gotten accessories where you can do media mounts. Okay. So you could mount like iPads or phones in there just to...
For the kids.
Yeah. There's also USB-C ports conveniently placed. And there's also
So when they're playing on their devices or doing whatever they're doing, it's just boom right here as opposed to going down here.
So the placements of the USBs are I appreciate it more on the design here than in any of the Teslas, really.
It's nice. Now, do these seats come up at all, or do they do anything?
There is storage there, but the way they open is they open the opposite from the Cybertruck.
So they come like this?
Yeah.
How do we do that?
There's no lock, you just lift it up. There you go.
Oh, that's a big storage.
So this is where the subwoofer is.
Okay, makes sense.
Again, it's included in the tri-motor because everything's already included, but this is an option if you get any other trims.
Now the question is, are they paying you to do this tour?
No. No. I came because
you're doing a great job.
You wanted a Rivian person who's experienced, so
I can really appreciate the fact that they really thought everything out. Like even this.
Yeah,
How many rear armrests do you get? Just something very small, but I mean, there's space there. Why not use it?
There's also an opening there to get into your gear tunnel.
Oh.
Yeah. So you could keep a cooler there, and then you could just reach back there and. Yeah. So the thing with this is in place. The storage is already in place, so you can't really remove it. Unlike with the Cybertruck, you can get a third-party accessory for the storage, and it opens the other way.
Yeah.
And what I like about it, because we have a medium-sized dog, 62-pound poodle, and so we can actually open the seats up, and he has all that space there. If it's something you need, but with this she can't.
I see.
Because this is already there. Or if you're like camping with the Cybertruck, you could just lift that up and lie down on the floor. Whereas here,
or something.
Yeah, I think they make some stuff like that. But so that's the trade-off or the difference.
See, that's where having someone like you is good on something like that to bring, because you have the perspective of owning both. So it's one thing. I got a comment the other day from somebody on a video talking about me going test driving, that they go, you're not going to have enough time to really get a feel for the vehicle. But having you here, you can give that life experience of, hey, I've owned both. This is what I like and this is what I don't like. Because at first when we lifted this up, I was like, I love this. But now that you're bringing up those points of the Cybertruck, and I'm going back thinking about it, yeah, if you lift that up, even just transporting something, you want to put something inside, especially on a day like this. It's raining. You don't want to use the back. It's too big for whatever. It's too tall to close the tonneau. You want to put it in here. You have a lot more space, height, because you don't have this in the way.
For height, yeah, but also you do have the gear tunnel. It's still limited in height, but you also have that option.
I do like that gear tunnel.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. We're sitting in the Gen 2, totally new computers, cameras. The cameras are actually 4K on these.
Okay.
They look very nice.
Oh yeah,
they're very clear.
It's actually really nice. Do I swipe? Oh, do I click? Or do I do anything?
Yeah, there's a different. So this has a bed camera that the Cybertruck should have came with.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm 100% in agreement with you. I think there should be a camera inside the vault of the Cybertruck.
Yeah.
You put stuff in there, you should be able to look at it.
And there's already lights on the side, so it's not like, oh, it's going to be dark. No.
Well, even if it is dark, you put night vision camera.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't know.
And there's other angles on the other. Yeah. So this has bird's eye view. I love this, especially parking. I love that.
And why didn't the Cybertruck do that? Why didn't Tesla do that?
The cameras are there because they say that, oh, it doesn't have a front camera. Well, the new Model Y and the Cybertruck has a front camera. Can you add that?
I don't know. We can get into a whole thing right now about that. But I like it's very clear though. You're 100% correct.
It is, yes.
It's very, very clear. So what else do we have in here? That's
so one
Rivian
thing
cool.
I like, and I don't think we could show it because it's plugged in, is you could see battery temperature.
Okay.
You could see your motor temperature. Now the Teslas do have this, but you have to go into like service mode or something. But when you're plugged in, this actually doesn't show up.
I think if you're in off-road mode on the Cybertruck, it'll give you the motor temps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was very easy to do. You just, oh shoot, what do I do? How do I do
this one.
Yeah. I was going from outside the screen. So just this. Okay, there you go.
Because when we went to Glamis at Cyber Odyssey, that was actually the first time I've experienced the different drive modes on the Cybertruck. And comparing to the Rivian's interface, I think the Rivian's interface is a little bit more simpler than the drive modes of the Cybertruck.
And easier to get to. I feel like to get to the off-road menus of the Cybertruck, you kind of have to...
It's kind of hidden.
You kind of got to dig into it. As opposed to this, it's kind of just there. You know, you're able to get to it very... Like right here, look, I want to go soft sand, boom. You know, go off-road, boom. I'm in soft... Boom. We're there.
You.
We're there. Boom, like that. Took us seconds.
And then it has the pitch, the roll, and the Cybertruck does have to.
We're lifting up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it gives you everything there. And I didn't have to go anywhere. All right here. I want to go back to all purpose there.
This actually also has different animations. The animations, so if you change the drive mode. See?
Oh, yeah. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then I got to do the hand over hand. But that's understandable, right? We know that's just the way it goes.
Yeah, that's going to be a difference when you get used to the Cybertruck with the steer-by-wire and all that.
When I test drove the Hummer, I told the sales guy that that's understandable. I know and we don't know yet, even though Sherwin says I'm getting another Cybertruck. That's where his money's on.
I actually would like you to have a Rivian. I actually like my Rivian more than the Cybertruck. So I have an upcoming video.
Interesting.
It's been a planned video of mine. But I needed to put miles on the truck to make a fair comparison. I wanted more drive time with the Cybertruck to compare, but I've always been, preferring the Rivian more.
So right now, it feels like it has good power, and we're only in all-purpose. So I just kind of want to, yeah, it's got some power, that's for sure. And we're not even in sport mode. I do like how it has all of these modes, but that's not for all of them, right? Like
no. So like if you got like the standard pack, the battery pack, and all that, you have limited drive modes. Then you jump into performance trim. So even in dual motor performance, you actually gain a couple more drive modes. The upcoming update, you get rally mode, which all these modes are available in tri-motor and in quad motor.
Okay. Do the windshield wipers go on automatically?
They should, and the controls are a little different. There's a little switch, like an up and down switch. There you go.
Auto low. Okay. I think they were off.
Okay. I think the wiper sensors here are a little better than Tesla sensors.
Tesla wiper system, automatic wiper system is very
It's not auto.
No, it's my Cybertruck used to wipe on 105 degrees outside, and there's not a drop of rain or water anywhere, and it just I'm like, what are you doing?
And the thing is, it kind of scares you or it surprises you because it's just big. Yeah.
It's this massive thing just
because you're not expecting it. It's like sunny, and then what?
The camera, when you put the signal on, turn signal, it's on this screen. And once again, that's another gripe of mine with the Cybertruck is why didn't they give us that
secondary screen?
You're paying $70,000, $80,000, $100,000 for a car. Just put that screen. This has a traditional mirror. It's not a baby mirror. It doesn't have a screen, but obviously because the Cybertruck has a tonneau, the mirror is useless. But this one, I can actually see out the rear window.
So I want you to feel that accelerator pedal and let me know because that was one of the things when I first test drove it that I've noticed compared to driving a Tesla.
It feels heavier.
Yeah.
It's heavier.
I thought it was just
pushing. It's pushing back at me.
There's like more resistance.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, when you accelerate, there is somewhat of a lag. I can't remember what they call it. I can't remember what they call it, but I talked to someone about it, and it is something that Rivian knows, and I don't know if they're gonna adjust it. But there is because the instant torque on Tesla, oh my goodness.
No, you
split second.
Boom,
like
you're gone. You're off to the races. This is there's that slight
There's
lag.
a small, I wouldn't say not even a second, maybe half a second.
Yeah. Should we put it in sport mode?
Yeah. So these are presets. So it also adjusts the suspension and everything.
Oh shit.
I think having a combo of Tesla and Rivian is great because you get to experience both. But I'll tell you this, when I jump back to a Tesla, it feels like home. It feels very familiar.
This is a change of pace, but it's comfortable. It's very nice. I'm enjoying it so far.
So the light turned green, there's no chime. That's something Tesla has.
That was nice. People might yell at me for, oh, you're not supposed to be on your phone. But you get to a red light, and you pull out your phone, you're checking the text message or something, and you could be looking down, and you're never going to get that guy honking at you.
Yeah.
Because you hear the little chime, and you're going, okay, I got to go. Put the phone down, you go. We're down to 10%, 36 miles.
Yeah.
I know you wanted to go to Vegas.
That's fine.
I don't think we're going to be able to do that.
Yeah, dude, if you
our test ride was supposed to end right about now. We barely
started.
But he said we could take our time.
Yeah.
So we'll take our time.
Dude, like I said, we could go to San Bernardino and charge this puppy up. There's 300 watt RAN chargers there.
You know what, Sherwin? Let's just go to TJ. How was that? Let's just go to TJ. We go to TJ, we could sell this thing. I want to get on the highway because I want to test what is it called?
The ADAS? Driver Plus.
Driver Plus. Wait, what did you call it? Or did you call me a bad name?
No, ADAS is just the term for all
okay.
adaptive driving, I don't know. Like the driver assistance system. So right now you do have to keep your hands on the steering wheel, but they are working on hands-free, which I think the upcoming update will do it, and they continue to improve. It isn't as great as FSD, but they're working towards it.
I'm curious, and you probably already know, so what I would ask, don't tell me, I want to experience
okay.
it. But what I'm curious about is, does it bounce within the lane? Because the Super Cruise with the Hummer didn't bounce a lot, but it did kind of
ping-ponging.
It was a little bit.
Tesla used to be like that.
Tesla used to be like that. So once again, I love Tesla. I love the Cybertruck. If I test drive all these things and all of them suck, I'm going back to the Cybertruck. There's no doubt about that in my mind. But somebody asked me yesterday, oh, so, you're not going to just go back to Cybertruck? I said, I'm actually wanting something to convince me not to go to the Cybertruck. Mm-hmm. I want something to be that good. So we're going to find out. Okay, so if I want to enable Driver Plus, what do I do?
Double tap down.
Double tap what?
This.
Yes. Okay, so the stock here.
It didn't do anything. Do we have to enable it?
Take this back.
How do you... I don't know. Oh, what did you do? Oh, okay. There you go.
There you
go. So this thing is not available everywhere? And what you just did is only on the Gen 2. In the Gen 1, it doesn't do that.
Change lanes.
Change lanes, yeah. That's actually on one of the newer updates.
Okay.
In Gen 1, you initiate the turn with the signal, and it actually disengages for you. And then it re-engages. That's how it does on Gen 1. But in Gen 2, it does that.
Jeez.
That wasn't us, though.
Well, that guy just flipped us off.
The purple truck?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, he flipped either us or this person off.
It's the one on the next to us.
Yeah, but he was flipping somebody off. Okay, I disengaged because it was yelling at me.
It was telling you to disengage, yeah.
Why? Do we know why?
Maybe you were looking away, or I don't know.
Now, see, highway assist unavailable on this road.
Yes.
That's probably why it was telling us to turn it off.
That is what I was saying, where it's not available everywhere. And one way you could tell is, see that the speed limit box on the top center? There's a logo right to the right of that that tells you that it is available or not available. I can't remember what that logo looks like.
Okay.
So it's not available in all highways. There's like geofencing and stuff. Unlike with Tesla, FSD...
You go anywhere.
Anywhere. Yeah. Because it just relies on the cameras and stuff and the computer on board. These, I don't know if it's pre-mapped or pre-designated, or it's just certain areas will have it. It may sound like it's very limited, but there are a lot of areas that do have it. But all of a sudden, it'll just won't be available.
If I decide to go away from Cybertruck, I have to kind of weigh what's important to me. And so one thing that I talked about in the video for the Hummer is, I'm going to enable this thing again. Okay, so we're back on.
Yeah, see the logo right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that means that this area has it.
Okay, so we're good. I'm gonna let this while I talk. So I need space, interior space, I need range, and I need some type of off-road capabilities, just because that's kind of what I want to do with my truck. So I want to be able to get off-road. We know Rivian is known for their adventures, right? They talk about that a lot. So the off-road capabilities, as long as I get the right trim, I get all these modes. Keep the hands on the wheel. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, there's no hands-free yet.
See, I was used to that, right? I was just doing this. But it does a good job.
Yeah.
So it has the off-road capabilities. This one has the all-terrain tires, has the suspension, the air suspension. So we're going to have that. Has all these menus and different things that, give me a lot of information for off-roading. So I think the Rivian checks that box. And then if I'm going to get a truck bed is the thing. That's the negative on the Rivian. If I'm getting a truck. And so that's one thing I talked about in the Hummer video as well, is I think because of the size of the bed on the Hummer truck, I'd probably actually just go to the SUV Hummer if I was going to go that route.
So the SUV Hummer is 5-seater. There is no third row.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised about that. I thought they had an option with a third row.
You would think.
Doesn't have it.
No, it doesn't
have it.
And the Rivian R1S does.
It does have
and that's standard.
7-seater, yeah. Being that the Hummer's on your list, the Hummer's over 100K.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. For that type of money, I think one of the things with Cybertruck that's I don't think is talked about enough is with the non-foundation series at 80K. Let's say there's no deals, nothing. That is a fantastic price.
Yeah.
The dual motor R1T with no deals is actually, if you were looking at the large battery pack, not the standard, because you're talking about range, which would give you over 300 miles, is actually more expensive than the Cybertruck. I think it's in the mid 80s, 80,000, like 85,000 for a large pack dual motor with no deals. So it's like the Cybertruck is really the best bang for the buck.
Yeah, if you have cash in hand and you line up all these cars, right? The cars I'm going to go look at, the Hummer, the Rivian, you get the Cybertruck in there, the Silverado EV, GMC Sierra Denali EV, and you get all those lined up and you just look at the price tag, Cybertruck has all of them beat.
Yeah.
Has all of them beat. Now, here's the difference though. Legacy automakers, they have leeway with their lease payments. They have specials and deals, and Tesla does that. And that's one thing I'm actually very disappointed about. They just got rid of that. Remember they were advertising for the Cybertruck $750 a month?
Yeah, the lease.
It's gone. It's no more. Now it's $900. So now I'm sitting there going, if I was going to get a Cybertruck and if I'm going to lease one, I should have done that 2 weeks ago because it's gone now. Now it could come back before I make my choice, but that's a bummer.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there going, now I got to pay $150 more.
So when you talk about how bed space is also a factor, is it the size of the bed because of what you're going to be putting in it?
Yeah.
Because also consider what the space you're lacking on the bed. You kind of get it back with the gear tunnel. So if you were to take like the volume of the bed and then the volume of the gear tunnel, it may be equal to maybe a 5.5-foot bed.
I hear what you're saying about volume.
Yes.
For me, I need the length of the bed.
It's the length. Okay.
Because I have, if I'm going to be using it for work, which I want to use whatever vehicle I have at work, I have a lot of heavy loads that are also very long. So I have, stuff that's, let's say 6 feet long and weighs 2,000 pounds, and I want to be able to put that in the back of my truck. This I could technically do, but I'm going to have to put the tailgate down, and then I'm going to have to strap it, and then it just turns into more of like, you're worried about it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be worried about it. Okay, let me ask you about that. When we were driving on the freeway, I kind of mentioned it. Range.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I've heard in my research that I'm doing in this process is that the GM vehicles, that whatever they estimate, you actually get more than that.
You mean like a buffer?
Yeah, so if it says that you're going to get, they advertise the Hummer EV 315 miles. Most people that I've seen online, Reddit and all that, go, you get more than 315 miles.
Like charged at 100%.
Yeah, you get 320, 325, whatever. We know with Tesla, they say you're going to get 315, you're really probably getting 3. It's never, you would have to drive like the most optimal.
Yeah. Drafting.
Everything would have to be
chill
perfect
mode
for you to get the estimated range. In the GM vehicles, from what I've heard, that's not the case. How is it with Rivian? Do you notice that you burn through it faster than it said? Because I feel like right now driving, it kind of burned through those miles quicker. I don't think it said 37 miles and we're down to 11. I don't think we drove 26 miles right now.
So with this, we do have the all-terrain tires.
True.
I can't say it's the cold weather because it has a heat pump.
But shouldn't that be calibrated from factory if they're giving you all-terrain?
It should. And actually, another upcoming update is you can swap tires. It sounds like it should have been there already, but in an upcoming update, you can actually swap the configuration of the tires. Factory ones, though, not aftermarket. Okay. So that it could adjust the range. But as far as like advertised versus actual,
yes.
I don't know off the top what their advertised is, but on the screen itself, from my experience, it's been actually a little bit more accurate than how I would see it with Tesla and I'm driving. If it says this is the range, then you're confident in it. It's better at calculating during road trips than Tesla from my experience.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, Sherwin, it just prompted that it's lowering the performance of the vehicle due to battery. We're at 1%.
5 miles.
5 miles, and
let's launch it. But it says 80 miles per hour max, so you can still do 80 miles.
Did we launch it?
Yeah, earlier we did.
No, do we do it now?
Oh, it's up to you.
Are you ready to push?
This is over 7 tons, man. It's like 7,200 pounds. Man, we are at 1%, 4 miles.
And I can't turn in.
Yeah, we gotta do a U-turn.
Hey, we got our money's worth, right?
Hey, you should launch it right
when we come back around. When we turn around.
Put it on sport. I wonder if it's gonna limit everything.
How do I do it? Oh, right here.
Yeah, and then sport. Yeah.
Let me go to sport. Shit. Sherwin, if we...
It's just down the street, dude.
If we have to push this thing.
All right, go.
Oh, but see, it limited. It limited.
Oh.
All right, so I've driven the Rivian R1T, and like I said in the video, I think it moved up my list. Obviously, I haven't driven every vehicle yet that I want to drive, so I don't know if it's gonna pass any of them, but it's moved up the list as far as maybe it was at the bottom and I kind of was doing it because it's the biggest competitor to the Cybertruck. And I think because of the size of it, I was already kind of dismissing it, but it drove really nice. The Driver Plus was actually did a really good job. I wasn't swaying within the lane. I didn't go over the lane like my Cybertruck did. So overall, that was really nice. The interior space was good. The seats, initially, I thought they were pretty comfortable, but like I told Sherwin, actually doing that 20-minute, 30-minute drive, it kind of felt like I could see on a 3-4 hour drive how that would probably be uncomfortable. It's not the most uncomfortable vehicle, but it's definitely not extremely comfortable. Bed space, I don't think that's gonna work for me. But I do like the gear tunnel. That does give you some extra volume, but for work, for my purposes at work, I don't think the bed on this would work. So I think I would actually, if I went with the Rivian, I'd probably get the R1S, to be honest with you. Obviously we didn't do any off-roading, but I mean, you look at the tires, you look at the drive modes, I think it's gonna be fantastic off-roading. I don't think I'm gonna have any issues there. So there's a lot of things I liked, more things that I liked about it than I thought. So it stays on the list. It's definitely not off the list. And I'm not gonna say that I'm not gonna get one, but I gotta go test the Silverado and the GMC Denali and then, make my decision. But once again, big props to Sherwin. I appreciate Sherwin for coming out and helping me out. He was my guide today, so I appreciate you. I'm gonna go ahead and leave all of his information in the description, and go give him a follow. He does a lot of cool content on Cybertruck, Rivian, all Teslas, everything. So go give him a look and subscribe to his channel as well. So thank you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.